Everybody, it's Laura and I am here to show you how you can import a quilt top into PreQuilt and then play with any kind of border ideas that you might have. So you don't need to design the whole quilt top, because just say you have a quilt top at home that you want to just put some borders on, and so you can import that right into PreQuilt. So what I'm going to do here is click on Create Quilt. And then I am going to, I think the block that I have is 25, the quilt top that I have is 25 inches by 25 inches, and I'm going to use this grid. And so it's going to make everything quite big at the beginning, because the entire thing is going to be, each block is 25 by 25. So what I'm going to do is just have a one column by one row quilt. And I'm going to then import my entire quilt top into this one cell, and then play with borders. So to get started, I'm just going to click on the whole cell, and I'm going to go to blocks, and I'm just going to add a one patch right there just to fill it. Now I'm going to go to color tags here, and I'm going to edit what is being used here for fabric A. So I'm going to click on edit, and then I'm going to go to prints, because instead of putting a solid in, I'm going to put a printed fabric, but in this case it'll be a picture of my quilt top. So I'm going to go here to import manage prints, and then I'm going to do a bulk upload from my computer, because I've already just downloaded the image. So I'm going to go download, and no, of course I don't have it here. Sorry. Here we go. So this is a picture of my quilt top that I have, and I'm going to import that here. It's pretty well cropped, but I can always crop a little bit of that white space off. Sorry, here. And at the top, and a little bit, and this will just remove any kind of negative white space around the quilt top. And then I'm just going to put in the name is quilt top, and then save. So now I can see that here, and I select that, and that it usually tiles it just to fill the space, and so this is where you can then work on the scale. If you hit shift and then the up key, it'll quickly move through the scaling of it instead of just doing one pixel at a time. Okay, so here I have my quilt top, and I'm going to just save that. It is a little blurry, I agree, but it still gives you an idea of what colors might work well here with the border. So I'm going to save this. And then what I'm going to do to start playing with border ideas, I'm going to go down here on the command center, and I'm going to click on binding and border. Click down on that. And so I can either do a binding fabric, or I can do a border as well. So I'm going to click here on add border. And it's using fabric A, which is this big picture that I have. So I'm going to change it actually to B, which is black, and 2 inches, that looks pretty good. And so I also want to do a skinny border around it. Again, I can change that to a different fabric, and I'm going to make that 0.5. And now I'm going to start playing with those ideas. So I can start with just going back to color tags. I'm going to lock my quilt top so that doesn't change. And now I can start randomizing and playing with what colors might look good. So I kind of haven't really found anything yet that I really like. There's something at the beginning I kind of liked. Okay, so maybe like this blue, but I want that to be on the outer border. So I can actually click here. And since I know what that it's using that robin's egg, I can go in there and do that and lock that. And then I can continue randomizing. So just say this is the version that I would like. I can save that and then download an image of it. So it'll tell me then how many of these one patch, but that's just the quilt top itself. And so this is a picture of what my quilt top would look like with two borders. I can also add a binding as well. So I go back down here to the border and binding, and I can add a 0.25 border with fabric B, and then I can see what that would look like with a binding. I'm also going to just show you really quickly how you can make what these borders actually printed fabrics. So if I go back up here to color tags and just say I want to actually make this big 2-inch border out of printed fabrics instead. So I'm going to go here to edit, click on that, and go to prints. And then I'm going to just start playing with maybe something that I have in my stash already. Maybe I want to see if this would look pretty good, or that. So this is how you could visualize it with a printed border. You can also make sure when you import that you remove these measuring tapes, which I didn't do before I brought it in. So actually I kind of really like this first one that I picked with these flowers, and I actually kind of really like how it is with the binding, so it's almost like a double frame. And so I'm going to save that, close that out, and now I have a good idea of what I'd like to do with the borders around this quilt top. Okay, so that's how you would use, you would take your already pre-made quilt tops and import them into PreQuilt in order to visualize what kind of border fabrics might look good around the quilt top that you've already created. Okay, so thank you so much. Have a good day and take care. Bye.